Let's talk to the president's top economic advisor now. Gary Cohn joins us this morning. Mr. Cohn, thank you for joining us this morning. Let's talk taxes right now. I think everybody at home wants to know what this is going to mean for them. So can you tell middle-class families watching right now, say a family of four earning $55,000, how much they will save under the president's plan?
George, thank you very much for having me. First, let me extend our sympathies to all those families in Puerto Rico and having to deal with what they're dealing with. Look, our tax plan is purely aimed at middle-class families. A typical family of four earning $55,000 in America today is going to have a substantial tax decrease. That family could expect something in the neighborhood of $650,000 to $1,000 tax decrease. You know, every tax situation is different. It depends what state you live in, but we are really solving for the middle class. Everything we have done in this tax plan is to solve for the middle class.
Well, yeah, but you say that $652,000. I wonder how you get that numbers, because your plan doesn't show where the tax brackets would begin, doesn't say how big the child tax credit would be. In fact, here in the state of New York, the top tax official here in the city of New York says that nearly half of the middle-class families earning between $50,000 and $75,000 are actually going to get a tax increase here in New York City because you eliminate the deduction of state and local taxes.
Well, George, if you look at the reality of the country as a whole, less than 25% of the families in America itemize. So we're solving for the country as a whole. So only the people that itemize today, which are less than 25% of the families in America today, itemize. So they're the only ones that are actually taking the deduction for their state and local taxes. We're solving for the greater good of the country. But what you have to look at is what we did in its entirety. You have to look at this plan in its entirety. We've doubled the amount of income that people can keep at the zero tax rate. That's a substantial thing. We've then lowered the 15% tax rate to 12%. So when you look at the first couple tax rates and how much money you can keep at 0 and at 12, we've done a substantial thing for American citizens. Then we're increasing the child care credit. So people are going to get a much larger credit. And remember, that credit is deducted directly from your tax liability.
Right, but you're not saying by how much you're going to increase it by. And if I'm hearing you correctly, you can't guarantee that no middle-class family will get a tax increase. There will be middle-class families who get a tax increase under your plan, correct?
George, there's an exception to every rule.
So that's a yes.
So look, I can't guarantee anything. You can always find a unique family somewhere. What our job here and what we've been working on in the White House is to create an economic stimulus package by using taxes to drive the economy of the United States. And that's what the president has ordered us to do, and that's what we're doing.
The president has also said that wealthy will not get a tax cut under the plan. He says that he himself will not get a tax cut under the plan, or his family won't get one. He said that you won't get one as well. But look at the front page of USA Today right now. It says that Trump could reap millions from his own tax plan. If you look at the fact you're eliminating the estate tax, eliminating the alternative minimum tax, cutting the top rate, cutting capital gains, cutting the tax on pass-through income, that means millions of dollars for the president of the United States.
George, look, you've got to look at the plan in its entirety. You know, on one hand, you're talking to me about people that are raising their taxes because we're eliminating the standard deduction.
For the wealthy.
On the other hand, you're talking about wealthy getting a tax cut because of the standard deduction. Well, when we eliminate the standard deduction for the wealthy, someone in New York that you're talking about, well, eliminating that standard deduction for someone in New York and the wealthy, that cost them 5%. So even if we lower the tax on federal taxes from 39.6 to 35, and then you take back the 5% that you lose from the elimination of the deduction, you're well over 40% on an effective tax rate on your federal taxes in New York. That does not sound like a tax cut to me. That's before the real estate tax component of this. Well, so you've got to look at the plan in its entirety.
I am looking at the
whole. Remember, we also put the ability for Congress to put a fourth tax rate in place, a fourth tax rate on wealthy Americans, very high earners. If we need to take more money from high earners and transfer it to middle-class Americans to make sure that middle-class Americans are getting a tax cut, we've given Congress the ability to do that.
I was talking about the elimination of the estate tax, the elimination of the alternative minimum tax, the cuts in the top rate and the capital gains tax. All that means millions of dollars in tax cuts for President Trump. He says, believe me, I won't be getting a tax cut. Can you guarantee that President Trump won't get a tax cut under this plan?
George, when we've looked at the tax plan and we look what it does for Americans, We are very confident that Americans are getting a great deal here. We have also said that wealthy Americans are not getting a tax cut. We have designed a tax plan that is stimulus for the economy, where we are giving tax cuts to middle and lower income Americans. We want everyday hardworking Americans to have more money in their paycheck. Your audience watching TV now, getting ready to go off to work, we want to find a way to put more money back in their paycheck.
Will the wealthy get a tax cut or not?
The wealthy are not getting a tax cut under our plan.
That's not the evidence that's out there so far, but of course there are a lot of details yet to come. As you have pointed out, Congress has to deal with it. We'll see what happens in the next several months. Mr. Cohn, thanks for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.